What's going on, everybody? It's your boy B Date back for another video. And man, there was a lot that I wanted to talk about today. I wanted to talk about the Phoenix Suns being the only undefeated team left in the bubble. 5-0 Phoenix Suns, led by Devin Booker, DeAndre Ayton, and the crew. I also wanted to talk about the handicap match that took place on social media. Patrick Beverley and Paul George against Damian Lillard, Oakland's finest, holding it down for Portland. Um, Cancun on three. 1, 2, 3. Cancun. I'll try and leave some pictures up for those of you guys who haven't heard about it, who don't have any social medias or anything like that. But I'm not going to talk about either of those things today. I'm not going to talk about either of them. What I want to focus on is my team, Los Angeles Lakers, and I want to talk about, is it time for the Los Angeles Lakers and Laker fans to panic? So I have three major concerns that I didn't have coming into the bubble about this Laker team, and before I get into them, I just want to really say I think one of the things that might be overlooked, and I definitely don't want to make it as an excuse, I'm just pointing out a matter of fact. The Lakers are one of those teams, who really get up and down and thrive off the energy of the crowd. And having no crowd in Orlando, it seems like we're just very lethargic, very slow to react. It takes us a long time to get engaged in games, and maybe it's part of us having nothing to play for, but specifically when I looked at the game yesterday, I'm recording this on a Sunday night, when we played Indiana, man, you see guys like TJ McConnell come in and it's instant energy. Aaron Holiday provides instant energy. Guys like that. We don't have that player. It was Caruso all season for us, but having him start now, he's not the same energy plug, spark plug that we're used to him being because of having to take on more responsibilities, right? Number one, the shooting, specifically from three-point range. It's been bad, okay? Got this from Unwritten Rules on Twitter. Shout out to him. Shout out to Lakers Twitter. He had charted the Lakers wide open three-point shooting in the bubble, and a wide open shot by NBA definition is considered the closest defender to you is 6 feet away or more. Danny Green in those scenarios shooting 18%. How many more, Danny Green? How many more? You have Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, who's been, very good for us after that slow start. 20% in those same scenarios. You have Markieff Morris shooting 33%, AD shooting 30%, and the one bright spot in the wide open threes has been the one bright spot in the bubble, to be honest, and that's Kyle Kuzma. He's shooting it at a 40% clip, and he definitely has earned himself some more minutes going forward. But obviously there has to be some sort of regression to the mean in terms of how bad we've been shooting. And if you do want to catch a slump, you want to do it now in the games that don't relatively matter to us. But it's still concerning because LeBron, Anthony Davis, they're going to generate so many open looks for the Lakers because of how talented and skilled they are at getting to the rim. So with that being said, I am glad that we're generating so many wide open threes, but at the end of the day, it's a make or miss league, and we've got to start making more. We got to just hit shots. Simple, right? Sounds simple, a lot harder to do, but bottom line, we've got to hit open threes. My number two concern has been the absence of Avery Bradley. Now, we knew going into the bubble, it might have affected us a little bit, but how I was talking about Alex Caruso being the spark plug for us in the season, Avery Bradley was another one of those guys because from the opening tip, he was going to give you so much energy defensively. He's a great cutter off ball. And when you're playing with guys like LeBron, who can find you wherever you are on the court, making those timely cuts is important. One of the last games before the season got suspended, he was great against the Clippers, both playing defense on Lou Will and Paul George at times. Playing great defense. He got that great steal on Pat Beverly, laid it up in his face and told him, "You're a little boy," or whatever he said. But just his energy, and it was contagious. Other guys wanted to not get scored on because Avery Bradley took so much pride in the defensive end. And this is one problem that can't be resolved because he is not coming back. He opted out for, reasons, that were important to him. So this is something that has to be taken up amongst, like I said, Alex Caruso, who's a great defender for us. When Rondo comes back, he's got to give a lot of effort defensively. Our best players have to demand that out of the rest of our team. Caldwell Pope, Danny Green, they've all got to step up. So the defense, in terms of specifically guarding pick and rolls against point guards, is where we miss them the most, right? You look at a potential matchup with us against the Blazers in the first round. Dame Lillard and CJ McCollum, they're coming off screen and roll pretty much every possession. And when we have our center out there, we're probably in a drop coverage, and they're going to get a lot of open looks. When AD's at the 5 and we switch those, then you got a small guy on Nurkic or Collins, or AD having to corral guards for a lot more than he's used to. Not to say he can't, but it's just asking a lot more on a guy who already has a lot of load to carry offensively. And then the last thing is it's one of those things that seems intangible, and it might not show up in the box score, but you can see it by watching the games in the eye test. And that last thing is just kind of what I mentioned at the beginning, how lethargic and slow we look in the half-court offense, right? A lot of our plays take a long time to develop. It's LeBron dribbling out top till there's about 12 seconds left. Then he dumps it into AD in a post scenario, or he calls up the big that we have to set him a screen for him. And there's just not a lot of flow to our offense right now. Earlier in the year, I loved it because we had ran some great sets with Avery Bradley or Caldwell Pope coming off of a double out of the corner and running like a handoff play, and it provided tons of options. It got LeBron off the ball a little bit. We have that set where LeBron gets to the elbow. The point guard sets a screen for AD in the corner. There's a lot of options there, but haven't seen it a lot. Maybe we're saving it, but when we have a big man on the floor, like a 5, alongside AD and LeBron, our offense is god-awful to watch. It really is. We have no spacing within the paint, which, has been the thing all year, and you can argue we have the vertical spacing over most teams, which is true, but come playoff time, when most teams are switching things, especially late game, we've got to be able to generate some offense in clever ways when LeBron doesn't have the 35 points in him, or when AD is struggling to handle those double teams in the post. That's another thing, man. If I see you turn the ball over or be surprised that a double team is coming your way one more time, bro, I'm going to lose my mind. You're a top 4, top 5 talent in the NBA. No one's going to take that away from you, bro. They're going to come and double you. Especially when none of these teams have an answer for you, they're going to double you. You've got to be better at reading it, seeing where it came from, and the Lakers have to do a better job of scheming to try and help him make the reads easier when the double does come. There's too many times he has to dribble it all the way back out to the three-point line, and by the time he picks his dribble up, the double team's gone, everybody's recovered, and then we ended up getting a bad shot, right? Remedies to that. Obviously play AD at the 5 a little bit more, so there's a little more space for him to operate and a little bit more space to cut into, rather than, playing him alongside Dwight or JaVale for a lot of times, where most of the time that those cutting lanes and those flare screens aren't as available because there's so much congestion inside, right? Another solution is AD needs to attack quicker. Catches the ball, turn, face, go. They can't guard you one-on-one. They're waiting till you dribble most times to send that double. So as soon as you see that, like, either know that or just move so quickly that the double can't get there in time. The defending guards and pick and roll scares me to death. We've never been a amazing team at that all season. Even though we were a top 5 defense, pick and roll coverage was something we had an issue with. Right? You look at the lethargicness that we're playing with right now. Like I said, I'm just gonna hope and pray that it's because we don't care about these games. Because when we tried against the Clippers, we didn't look great in the half court either. Their AD was just dominant. But I don't know, man. There just seems to be something missing, some sort of joy and energy that we used to have all season that's missing in this bubble. Maybe it's the fans. Maybe it's the lack of shot making on wide open shots. Maybe it's LeBron just chilling and coasting and being strategic to save his body. Who knows what it is, but I am a little bit concerned. Bright spots have definitely been Kyle Kuzma, as I've said. AD in our wins has been amazing. He's got to handle that double a little better. And, the last game against Indy, Quinn Cook showed he's one of those guys who can make open threes. He was 5 of 7, I think 5 of 8 maybe, after the last one that he shot with a chance to tie. Maybe he gets a few minutes coming into a rotation. But Laker fans, other NBA fans, y'all let me know what you guys think. Let me know if I'm overreacting because it's my team and I'm just a very emotional guy. I don't know. Feel free to engage in a discussion with me on Twitter. I'll leave my socials below or in the description. And be sure to check out our basketball podcast, The Weekly Shoot Around. We had another good episode this past week. We're growing and growing. Thank you guys so much.